list. I know it's so important. I'm focused on fortress. Yeah, I'm scotching. Show it on the short ditch. I rock earth forces, don't force shit. Not burn, I'm racing the torches. Long high ride, blow high.
That's another individual y'all don't talk about enough.
Juices and berries ain't no pun. Ice cream on sneaks look like big wine. Get it big, get the facial love. Never let you push your facial love. Get too big, get too big, get too big. Yeah. That's what made me. That's what made me. That's what made me.
Hello, everybody. It's Good Here Monday. Get you some fucking Smino in your life, you sons of bitches.
That's what made me. My she great feet. That you can't eat. She was crazy.
It just feels good.
It's just nice and chill, man.
I don't even know if he said shit this whole time.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
Oh, here we go.
Still look out for my sisters. They the one put me on game, no rookie. Never let a little hoe spin your ass, spin your cash. Life a movie, nigga, pick your
Wow, that was a bar. That was a. We don't usually do rewinds here.
He really wants you guys listening.
And he said his sisters put him on that.
I mean,
Shit.
that's normally the one of few times you actually get good advice from lady folk as a man is from the ones that's in your family. Because the ones you dealing with gonna sell you a dream.
It just feels like the universe just be dropping shit in your lap, because that video that was posted earlier, I was like, I had done a little like shit with the little sex toy thing, and I was like, oh, this will be funny for some reason. And soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, won't he the high powers provide at all times? Yeah, just, oh, look at you, just, you know, I don't care if it's the 1920s or if it's inflation or if it's whatever or if it's these old timey, still pay for it all, and I just exist. All right, cool. You got it.
Well, guess what? I'm happy without you.
I will figure it out.
Mm-hmm. You get no love from me.
I as much as we've discussed that, I just feel like I just am content in the fact that that'll just be something that I'll never understand, and I'm not meant to understand everything, so that's cool.
You're not meant to understand everything, but part of the purpose of us being on this earth, in my opinion, is to try understand things, because you are sent here knowing nothing. So the more you try to understand, the better a person you become.
I'm full of shit. I have my own understanding of it, and I'm just trying to be like, y'all, you like what you like, but it's hard.
No, that's enabling, sir. Don't enable the people.
We've talked
Don't
about this
enable these ears that are listening to us here on Just a Dope Ass Podcast on this wonderful Monday evening. If it's not their first time, they know what time it is.
If it is your first time, thank you. Whenever the fuck you see this, hear this, whatever, you are appreciated.
If you're hearing it right now, it's because you downloaded the Good News Radio app and you're listening live, because somebody either put you on game or you followed instructions or something wonderful.
Put you on the game. That was a time.
It was. I was gonna let you get it off.
That was it. That was just the thing. We've discussed Timbaland, like,
he's a wonderful person.
Man, like, you just fucking. I'm not gonna do the hip hop thing right now, but like,
no, we're not.
Fucking, thanks, Tim.
Yeah, that album was wonderful for all the alley-oops that were given on that album. Not necessarily because of him. He had some assistance. Not to shit on him, but he had a lot of assistance, and it was top tier assistance.
My thing with him always is just like, you can't knock that. Just like, fucking, you get to it in this fucking booth, man. It just be something. I don't know. I haven't heard anything in a while, so I don't want to give like any negative thing, because actually, it's been really calm, really chill. I think, right? I haven't. It hasn't crossed my timeline, so in my mind, nothing's happening.
He's been doing okay. I think in the booth is we know what to expect from him, and it's great. It's outside of the booth, especially when lady folk are involved, where he gets to be a little sketchy.
We're no longer talking about Timbaland for anybody who's not.
No, we're not talking about Timbo at all. We named Timbo by name. We didn't name the other guy by name.
I just want to put positivity on that, man. Cause
he's. I haven't heard anything about him since Clubhouse was like really rocking, and he was on there. soliciting.
Yeah, I was actually listening to something in the gym, like just on like a little like playlist or whatever, and it came up, and I just kind of was like going through the like had like a maybe like 20-30 minutes of like just game shit on my fucking playing through the fucking headphones. And I was like, fuck, man, like
He's got a decent discography, man.
this nigga be really like
He can really
rapping the bars.
He can
man.
really do a little something.
Yeah, and it's some I don't know, and I think like I be like in the champion, because even when I think about like that conversation we had with Juju, shout out to Keep It 1,000 Pod.
Coming on next.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about just like LA hip hop, and I was like, he does have to kind of get put in that class of hip hop people who's like, what you did? Just say fuck the regular LA sound and just said I get these bars off. Period.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he kept the stereotypical gangbang thing, but he created his own style as far as like the whole name dropping being part of his bars. Like he kind of pulled like a West Coast Fabulous type situation.
That guy. I saw fucking something where it was like, the Joe Budden Fit page where it just like completely demolishes his fucking clothes. I didn't know that page is something that gets Fab too, because it was something like where they were like it was like a couple posts of like them together like as fashion faux pas phenoms. And I was like, I never heard of that with Fab. I thought Fab was always like in but I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, fuck me.
Fashion is not my forte.
Yeah, man, I just be wearing shit. I'd be comfortable.
Now, mine, I definitely, Fab gets to it when it comes to fashion, but Fab,
because
he has the money, he's going to be able to, he's going to play around with it a little bit more. Joe is just like, I'm getting money again, so I'm wearing designer shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Joe's shit sometimes do look like, it's expensive, and it just be like, you didn't have to do that.
You didn't have to put that on, champ. Like, you didn't have to do that.
Doing.
Fab is like, it's expensive, but some of it's custom, or I know how to actually put it together. Not to mention, your wife / baby mom's is a stylist, so you kind of.
That's a cheat code.
Yeah, you get away. Now, granted, you had your swagger on real nice when it came to the clothing beforehand, but you have an in-house stylist. Like, she styled all your peers for their videos, so you get a little bit of a assist inside the household.
Look at Fab, man. Like, look how this came full circle. Like, now, but whatever the relationship shit, I'm sidestepping.
It's had its ups and downs.
Yeah, but just the fact of, look at her being her own fucking independent enterprise, having her own talent, business, skill set, money. And, you can't even put her in the thing of like, I'm with Fab for whatever. It's like, you were already doing this.
Yeah.
That's amazing concept. I've discussed it at length. We have sat here in this is studio to discuss the dynamics of the male and female species, and that there is one of the crux, one of the pillars of success for a loving relationship. Is to fucking have your own, man. I swear I don't understand. I just don't get it. Like,
you're not supposed to get it because you have a brain and it works well.
Even motherfuckers say like the 1920s and shit. Like, I be wondering, okay, how do motherfuckers? And I'm speaking solely just from a black history's perspective because man, come on. But I'm sure, and this is just me being ignorant. I'm sure there's across all gamuts, but like. Motherfuckers be up there like, oh yeah, on Netflix, wasn't it like Madam C.J. Walker and shit? Like they were just like super hyping her up.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it was amazing. Like she did like all of this great business money thing. How the fuck y'all be like, she's amazing? Are you gonna buy all of this other stuff? Hold up, nigga. I thought, what the fuck? What the fuck? You lying? Liar. Yes.
I'm gonna go out on a ledge here.
Lovely.
It's just a slight detour. We can get back to this, but
I'll go off road. So you are the complete structure of this dynamic.
I know I've kind of mentioned this before, and I, in the spirit of supporting Black people and Black innovation and Black creations and Black business and Black history, I don't entirely want to say something negative about Madam C.J. Walker. But I blame her for all these terrible wigs and weaves that you guys are wearing. She started the trend of trying to assimilate into white culture and making money off of it. And I blame her because what we deal with today with this foolishness that y'all be putting in your heads sometime to assimilate into pop culture, into white culture, it started with her. It started with her. It was supposed to tame black hair. Black hair was fine.
This is pod history, man. We did take Madam C.J. Walker shots, man.
I appreciate her contributions to history and black hair care and things of that nature that we needed. But God damn it, like her thing was like, I'm gonna do this for black people and I'm gonna make money. As opposed to understanding the damage. Like, no, you're creating something that's going to make black people want to assimilate into white culture so they don't get profiled. They're still going to get profiled. They're going to hate their natural selves even more. And it's going to escalate and become worse. So although I love you, Madam C.J. Walker, I wish you just thought that through a little bit more before.
Is that judging Madam C.J. Walker for tools she was not, I don't know, equipped with?
No, I think her heart was in the right place. I don't want to completely say she was being greedy or just chasing it for money. I don't want to. I think, her innovation within that point in time in history played its role, and it helped us in some capacity. So I don't want to completely shit on it. I don't think she foresaw the damage that was going to come from it. I don't think she saw it escalate to that point.
Creamy crack.
Yeah, I think for her it's just like, I can make some money because this is something that black folks need, and I discovered it. So let me put it out there, and I can try. Like, I think her making money as a black woman and as a person during that time period of slaves is still like.
I think that was the sell, especially like how they, I think definitely like the film laid into that, but I think that definitely was the sell. Is like, I have a chance to like, fuck. I mean, the hair is important. That's how I make my money.
Right.
But like, I'm so focused on. Like, I'm doing, like, something.
Right. I'm doing something big. I'm going to get this money, and this money is going to be a big fuck you to white people. But within that, you're also hurting your people more.
I feel like that's a trend of, like, all of our shit. Because all of our fucking, well, not all of it, but, like, a lot of our ways to get, to get up, to get the money, to move on up to the east side is always usually at the expense of, like, our people. To get the, like, to get the super big bag, you kind of have to, put your own on the chopping block, or at least be, at the very least, you have to be impatient. But if I want to get this money right now, I got to kind of throw you out to the motherfucking wolves. So, which fucking sucks. Like, some forethought to be like, hey, you could kind of, go back to the community. But that requires you to maybe lose out. Well, as it stands now, it requires you to lose out on a couple dollars. It don't necessarily have to, but that's
it doesn't have to. But I think that mindset of, like you said, get up and get to the money, gotta hustle, and that comes from that mindset of that time period of Madam C.J. Walker. I'm gonna do what I have to do to set myself aside from this norm of black person, and maybe I'll get treated differently. I'll be able to put myself in a position to where these white folks can't treat me a certain way. But that leads you into a mindset of survival. I'm going to do what's best for me. It gets us out of the original mindset that we had, which was for the collective, and it puts us in an egotistical, selfish mindset, which ties into what we're talking about today for the most part, as far as people entering into relationships with a one-track, egotistical, selfish mindset.
Yeah, I think like to do the parallel between like the mindset of business and the mindset of even how relationships, if you're entering into these things, copying, what's the terms a lot of people use it on, like the super black, the dominant society. You get in here, following the dominant society. But if you take that blueprint and, it is a very like selfish, not for the collective blueprint, and you go in going, just from on the business side, they always say like, I'm gonna go in, even when we talk about like getting into certain industries, like I'm gonna go in, you get your foot in the door, you go back and get your people, but you don't take into account the changes that happen to you when you go in here, like the social changes and shit. Even that video you posted earlier today where it talks about like the generational shit of how that affects, like we don't even pay attention or even have the knowledge of.
Right.
All of these environments are affecting your brain patterns, affecting your energy, whatever level you want to fucking put it on is fucking with you. You're not paying attention to, this shit is changing you and not necessarily for the better.
It can change you for the better, but no matter what change happens, you have to pay attention to the negative changes that are going to come with the positive changes. Mm-hmm. And of course, people are going to weigh their options and see which ones they want to deal with and which ones they don't. That's why I said I don't want to completely shit on her. I know I'm for shits and giggles just to be funny.
Clickbait.
Yeah, I'm picking on it. But it's been a while. They haven't driven by in a while.
They must have been on a road trip. We missed y'all riding through every fucking time we record.
Right. But yeah, I know it's inflammatory for me to say and it's entertaining, but I'm saying that not necessarily to shit on her because I appreciate what she contributed to us as black people in the community and our history. But I think when we get, especially since that mindset we've had since that time period, we get into survival mode of how can I make money? How can I survive? How can I change these things we ignore the negative changes that are going to come with that. We may look at, say, for instance, I want to see how to get white people to not treat me this way. And you forget how that's going to affect black people negatively. I'm just trying to focus on this one thing. It's like, I appreciate that. That's necessary. We do need change. Change is inevitable and change is necessary. But don't just pay attention to only the positives, because if you pay attention to the negatives, you might figure out how to counteract some of them a little bit. But you have to pay attention to the balance of both. Not to be negative and like just focus on negatives and no, positivity and abundance and all that is important. But sometimes when you're understanding your abundance, you have to understand, what you're trying to avoid as far as lack is concerned. This is going to be a part of lack that's going to pop up. All right, well, let me figure out how I can counteract this with more abundance as opposed to this. I'm just going to ignore it and it's just going to be there. But if I don't focus on it, it'll go away. No, it's going to grow because you're not figuring out how to keep it at bay.
I think about like how just like I think about this shit just like in passing conversations and just passing my little random thoughts to myself of how to like deliver those skills to people, because I think about it sometimes as that's a regular mindset if I'm talking to you, which is fucking small sample size, because that doesn't that like it's like, oh yeah, I talk to DC, DC can have like these like deep philosophical thoughts, and that's how people think. Or you fucking have a conversation with like, if I fuck around and talk to like you and on like Keith in a day, I'm fucked, because now my like standard for talking to people, and I'm like, but I realize if I talk to you, if I talk to Keith, if I look at myself, it's like, oh, this has been a journey of going and looking up shit, going and listening to people who challenge thought, or like you'll sit up, like motherfuckers really sit up and like that page, I forget what it's called that you post all the time that I ended up following today with the cartoons, but they'll post motherfuckers like
after school,
like, but after school, sit up there and you'll listen to fucking Alan Watts and turn around and listen to Jordan Peterson and turn around and listen to fucking
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and that's not saying you agree with all these people, but if you end up having this, I don't know, this approach to things of like, I'm almost going out of my way to search for things to challenge my beliefs so that I can, to me, that's like, what's that shit? Like iron sharpen iron. Like that's how I reaffirm that my beliefs are made of something, because, oh, this motherfucker's challenging them. And now I can sort through and think them through logically. You have to, like, these motherfuckers be talking for 3 hours. So you got to sit through the, fuck this motherfucker, man, this is bullshit. And you come back and listen to it without you sit your emotions somewhere in the back seat or whatever. And now you listen to it for what it is, and you go, that motherfucker's right. That part is right. That part is wrong. That part is not taking into account this. But you realize in order to like deconstruct your own shit, you start looking at the world like that. And they'd be like, I want us all to do that, because I feel like that would put a good dent in niggas' issues. Like if niggas would just be like, because niggas be real, this is how it is. Like, nah, man, just pump your fucking brakes. Like pull your head out your ass and your heart out of your fucking whatever.
All this. You getting all that. Yeah. All that high anxiety, that anxiousness, your heart beating because you're reacting. Your ego is triggered. Like, you can't approach learning, which is supposed to be something that's cognitive, with your ego. Not to say that your heart can't be in it, because, having a passion to learn works well with your brain. That's a feeling.
Sorry. Balance. Oh, shit. Sorry.
So you need tissue?
Ooh. No, I'm good.
He got a case of his allergies, his balance allergies are acting up a little bit.
Yeah, fuck. Crazy.
But you have to be able to delegate the action for the body part. If this is thinking, let me think, and let me think unbiasedly, let me think balanced, let me think without my emotions, as opposed to reacting, which we have a lot of that. But the ego definitely triggers a lot of people's behaviors when it comes to these thought processes of understanding how to maneuver within relationships, or maneuver within a business model, or maneuver within a lot of things. People all heart, no brain, or little brain and big heart. And it's like, that's cool when you're giving.
I feel like you can merge the two, because I was even thinking of
they work together.
I was listening to a bit of like the Brilliant Idiot's response to the Joe Budden stuff. It's just a complete fucking.
It's a shit show.
It's not really a shit show.
I mean, it's them making light of a shit show.
A little bit, yeah. Like they, Charlamagne did kind of take the higher route thing, but there was something that was said by the girl, and it's nothing. It's not a shot to her. It's just that statement of, "I'm passionate." And I'm like, I kind of hate that term. She was talking about it in the form of business. That I'm passionate. I'm a very passionate person, which is to me sometimes an excuse to just let your emotions run fucking free. But to take, to say for the piece where I feel like they should merge, you should use your brain to examine where your emotions are stemming from. Because it's like, yeah, I'm passionate, but I could be like fucking Hitler was passionate. That's not a fucking excuse. That's not a way. That's not anything to just stand on. But she talked about the way that she distinguishes. Like it's business,
right?
So I will sit my passion aside to think logically. And I thought about that. I was like, you know what, motherfuckers will do that in business because money is the importance of it. It's super important. You'll tuck your passion, you'll tuck your feelings or whatever for business because money is important because you see value in it. It pays for this, this, and this. But motherfuckers don't do that shit for their mate. Like you wouldn't do that for your nigga. Like. I feel how I feel. Tell my motherfucker, because you be tucking that shit for that job you don't like, because you see value. You can delay gratification and see the long term shit to go do this part of the job or this part of the school. But for me or for him or for her, you motherfuckers don't do that. You just because I feel it. I'm passionate.
Right.
But that's not always passion, nigga. That's ego. That's entitlement. That's controllingness. That's insecurity. And I'm talking to you niggas too. I'm talking to all of you non-binary,
anybody,
all binary.
Yeah, whatever your gender identity is, whatever. It doesn't matter. It applies to everybody because we all have egos. We all have insecurities. We all have emotions. And a lot of ours are severely out of whack. Like, our hormones are everywhere and our brain is just like, hey, don't do that. Like, actually, like, talk to me. I got a brain. You got a brain. Okay, that means we both have the capacity to learn and understand. I got a mouth. You got a mouth. We both can use that. But don't approach me selfishly as if your feelings are obligated to be validated and mine don't deserve to be heard as well.
Also, just the idea that, like, there's a difference between having your feelings, brought to the forefront. But if you are coming at and you're like, sit down. Like, go the fuck away. Don't come talk like that. And also, like, I'm super big on have a conversation with yourself as if yourself is somehow fucking up. Not to devalidate what you're saying, but just to go, all right, where am I coming from with this? So I just don't blah. But, belief challenging is not a thing. That's how you get ladies on the internet explaining. That shit blew me away. The whole video, dog, she explained that we are in a different economic space. She even touched on the fact of, like, these are different value systems and said, by the way, fuck it. Bitch, go to the asylum. You got it. Like, that's got to be some form of insanity. Like, you got to be committed, fam. Like,
so for the listeners that may not have seen the post, give them a little context, okay. Preface it for them so they understand.
So, I have no idea who this woman is. It was a post that I actually took off of another nigga's page that was reviewing her post.
I think it was one of the ladies from I think it was the same girl from the therapy show.
Oh no, this is a different.
It's a different one. Yeah. I forgot. I heard some nonsense immediately. And
that shit, like, and I'll give that therapy show a little. I don't know. We're gonna touch on that too because they did some weird sick shit at the end of that one.
Not all therapists are created equal.
Bald dude is fucking wilding though. I will say that. Like they did a good. I will say they did a good thing of like both sides, men and women wilding. But the nigga on that show, he's doing us fucking dirty. He's bald, he's bearded, and he's acting like a fucking douche nozzle. It's weird, insecure as fuck. It makes no fucking sense. Anyways, but no, she's on this video. AQ. I don't know if you niggas need to fucking fucking sue him for that or whatever. But he's up there and he was reviewing a video, and basically in the video it was a whole lot of like rhetoric of men need to provide, men are bums for, basically trying to tell women that like, help me. Like, we're supposed to be a team. This idea that, women need to come, like, add value. That, like, the idea of a man going like, hey, man, like, what are you, like, what is the payoff? Like, we've spoken on here before that, there seems to be a dossier on, like, if you ask a motherfucker what a good man is, they got a PowerPoint presentation. There's bullet points. You do this, and this. But if you go, hey, man, what's a good woman? There's like these lofty, like, she is a nurturer and she is, no, man, like, because for me, there's a lot of just bullet points. I don't just get to be, I am a good, positive. Nah, nigga, you need to do these fucking jobs. So I was like, okay, man, well, what the fuck is your job? Because it's in the not even on some, but in the realm of balance, where does this make sense? Like, what is, you know what I'm saying? Because even, motherfuckers be like, take care of the household and cook, clean, like that. I'm not even knocking that, but that made more sense in the 1920s, where it seemed like niggas was working 40 hours in the fucking factory or selling vacuum cleaners or whatever. And, you come home and you just, I don't know, you read the newspaper, you exist, you don't talk to your kids, and you go eat the big piece of chicken and you sit down. Well, then that makes sense, man, because apparently niggas just don't know how to do anything past swipe their ass. But nowadays, I'm not the world's biggest cook, but you know what I am? Like, there was a fucking post a couple months ago on, like, some social media where it was like, women out here using recipes, and I was like, yeah, nigga, me too, because I was like, if I don't know how to cook it, I know what I can do is follow instructions really fucking well. So essentially, we all know how to cook. I mean, and even that, the act of cooking, I feel like has been kind of blown out of proportion. It's the idea that, hey, you care about me to nourish me and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like that gets thrown out the window because niggas don't have any fucking idea outside of a stomach. And it's like, no, like, but even that, I'll even take that. Like, you feed me and say it takes me, I'm a pretty fast eater, but fucking, man, let's say the meal takes 20 minutes. So you made the meal. For me, I only engage in this for the 20-minute meal. I ate and I sat down. I can't believe you left you cook, you clean the house. Okay, but ma'am, that requires that I only be a walking stomach and penis. But, like, I wanted to watch, what if I want to watch whatever the fuck shows on TV and I want to discuss it? I want to talk about Alan Watts. But you like, oh, you watching that fucking weirdo shit. Who is Alan? Let's watch whatever. Now, well, we don't really connect. What the fuck is, what am I, because I can go to BuzzFeed Tasty. I make enough money. I can go just eat out if I wanted to be a just lazy fuck. So what is the value? What are you doing here? That's a valid conversation. And it's not on some, I know the word value has been just shit upon because y'all love to just, crucify the Kevin Samuels nigga. But that's a valid question. Like, if I am bringing these things to the table, what exactly is my, not to make it all transactional, but make it make sense?
You're nicer than me. Because I don't see that as value. I see that as basic survival skills that an adult human being should have. I shared a post today of a 3-year-old making a meal.
That shit was amazing. And this wasn't no bullshit. The motherfucker chopped up bell peppers and onions and ground turkey and pasta. That shit was beautiful.
Right. A 3-year-old. A 3-year-old made a meal. Not to be like chef status or extravagant. He barely can hold the spoon, but making it work. Now, clearly, I'm sure he had a little bit of help, but the fact that the family has set things up for him to be able to learn how to cook at a young age and do things himself and it be appreciated. If a 3-year-old can do that, I'm not shooting no bell for myself or any other able-bodied individual that can learn this skill just like this 3-year-old can learn this skill. So I don't look at that as a benefit. I know back in the day when we talk about the 20s and whatnot, when it was the woman's job to be in the kitchen cooking or whatever the fuck. Like, I've been raised doing that my entire life. You're not doing something special for me because I was doing this since I was a child.
I don't like that those scenarios are used and you only take the positive. You don't discuss these things in the realm of, like, what was the payoff? Yeah, you got to sit at home barefoot in the kitchen cooking and he went out and cooked, but also you were not me. I am a complete higher being in civilization. Like, well, baby, no, because I don't fucking want to. What you talking about? You got to say in here. That's what it was. Like,
right.
So all of this, yes, you, and I'm not, and this is not on some, like, yeah, you get what you pay for now. Like, this is legit to me what it's supposed to be. Like, yes, you are an equal party. You can go out and earn, you can whatever. So now we are in this thing as a unit, as a team, which is what the fuck we come from, you fucking, I'm sorry. That is the blueprint. So all this other shit, I don't know how to look at it except for it is like bummy behavior, man. Like even I always, even when I boil it up to like the super rich and famous, it's like, come on, G, like we could, in my mind, it's like we're great, but we're not as great as we could be because you're just here existing when you could. I don't know, like I don't know that, like, I don't know that these fathers are out here just not being fucking dads. Like it for this scenario to work, it just has to work in an idea where like a dad just is not this existent thing, which is not true, and it to me shows that motherfuckers don't appreciate fathers. Like there's a lot of complaining that fathers aren't there, but like fathers trying to be there, but nobody appreciates their position because now niggas are just boiled down to money and dick.
Like you said, the father doesn't do anything but pay the bills, provide penis to create children, and play catch with said boy. If it is a boy, if it's a girl, he just makes sure that the girl doesn't bring home a stupid boyfriend.
Which means that you motherfuckers have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Like, no, I want to know you. What do you want? You want this image because you don't like. There's intricacies to relationships and all these things matter. Like the same, you're a nurturer, foo blah blah blah. That same thing can be said for him in the male version. He is, right. I don't know, man. Like what the fuck is the male? He's provider is not always just financial either. Like he provides stability, he provides security, he provides a presence. Like the same way a motherly presence, they're fatherly. I remember my father's presence, my grandfather's presence, my fucking uncle's presence. The same way I understand my mother's. Like it's different energy. You motherfuckers just really don't know what the fuck you talking about, and it is just beyond me. Like it is. My head sizzles every time motherfuckers open their goofy fucking mouths. Because
they don't want you're trying to speak from a perspective lacking experience and understanding, and you have not been trying to understand. Men are nurturers just the same way that women are. It's not even entirely different. I know we may say that men and women can have the same attributes, the same abilities, but they look different. They don't always look different. Shout out to my little brother Casey. Just had a baby, my niece. He will text me a picture of her and be like, I've been sitting here staring at this individual for the last 45 minutes. This is my child. Mom is tired. She's getting some rest. I'm sitting here with my child, enjoying just looking at my child. I made fun of him today, but I commented on him. Kid's favorite song, it's a whole infant, but I guess apparently it's the song that my niece likes, and it may make her smile or whatever and have some sort of reaction. He's dancing to it and enjoying it. Mm-hmm. Like she would if she was old enough to do it. He's doing it to not just entertain her, but I'm enjoying this as a father. I enjoy doing the nurturer thing. I enjoy being able to be in this space the same way that a mom would. It's not a gender-specific thing. It's just that I give a shit.
I'm going to do you one better. In where we have worked at various places where we have still been in communication and worked at different areas, there's more stories, more incidences than probably I could count. Maybe both of us could count. Where said, and this is not knocking anybody, but said situations going on, male or female client, there's female staff that go in there, I'm over this, I'm tired of this, and this is not a situation of disrespect. This is a situation where nurturing is necessary. And 1, 2, 3, 4, I could count 6 men off top, including myself, actually excluding myself, that were the nurturers in the situation. There was no raised voice. We will sit here if it takes the next 2 minutes or the next 2 hours to get you back to baseline, to get you back where you at, and we're gonna also process through the situation where it triggered you. So I don't, on like levels, I feel like that's just some bullshit narrative, and it'd be like, to me it's just mad hypocritical because on one hand motherfuckers will be like, we are this, we are that, which is true, but you cannot live in this space and then say this thing is true because this thing is tied to a narrative that says you're trash. So like make it make sense.
Here's a question though. Where do the narratives come from?
They don't get what?
Because when we talk about like men being a specific way and men are supposed to do this and women are supposed to be doing this, when you go all the way back to even the hunter-gatherer times, that wasn't a gender role that was assigned. That was a victim of circumstance, basically. The man is hunting and the woman is home taking care of the kids. Yes, because I'm pregnant and there's children. I can't go hunting with you. But guaranteed, when he brings back whatever they hunted for, she know how to cut it, gut it, skin it, kill it, everything the same way that the man does. I'm just not doing this action with you because it's not feasible to the environment right now. I have the same skill set as you to a degree. When we have wars, I know how to fight just like you. I may not be as strong as you, but the entire village is skilled in having to defend ourselves. So I can do the same things as you. It just may look a little bit different because we have to take on certain roles for the collective. This isn't something that we're doing because I am woman and I'm supposed to do this and you are man and you are supposed to do that.
What's that bullshit narrative that I always see? Not even narrative. I just see this bullshit comment when people say things like, you would say something like that about like balance. If that's how it works for your relationship, that's what works best for you, which is true to a degree. But I just feel like some of y'all motherfuckers just be saying that as a way to like dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge the fact of accountability and equal and balance is necessary in these relationships. And equal is not something that just says split it down. Motherfuckers love to stand on like the one bullshit part to make it make sense.
Because like, people want to be selective in the realms of growth that they have. They don't want to grow overall. I want to grow in the areas that I want to grow in, the way that I want to grow. Say, for instance, when it comes to this whole, we've talked about it, and I've talked about it with other people throughout the week, of women proposing to men.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God.
I don't know how dare you disrespect yourself proposing to a man. It's like, it's a gender norm. One, originally, when we talk about the construct of marriage, originally the man had to do the proposing because it's an agreement between said families, and the men are doing the business. The women don't have a say-so. You are property. You, sir, you are the prince of this area, or you are the heir to this thing. And in order for us to do business, I want you to marry my daughter to solidify this agreement that I have with your father or that I have with you. What are you bringing me as the father in return? If I give you my daughter's hand in marriage, then that means you have to give me this. It's a contract. She ain't got no say-so. Mm-hmm. So that's when the man started proposing to the woman. Before it was, hey, you know what? Me and you, I enjoy you. We are establishing our union. That's what it was before for us. It was a union. It was togetherness. It was two people deciding we are going to do this together and we're going to raise a family together. When it transitioned to marriage, as we know it today, it was a contractual agreement. So yes, the men were proposing because the men were doing the business and you were just the fine print at the bottom.
I would say even to add on to that, from like not even just a transactional property standpoint, to me that reeks of an air of like, if this is supposed to be this is what solidifies love and this is what whatever with this marriage shit, then motherfucker, if you love me, then it shouldn't matter who does the what on this fucking goofy ass ceremonial fucking whatever. This is just some, exchange of rings or whatever the fuck it is, what you make it. But it's like, so I am not of value enough. You don't love me enough. So you don't love me. What the fuck is you talking about? You love the idea. You love the wedding. You niggas is full of shit. Because that really shouldn't be a thing if it's supposed to be this, I want to love, all that bullshit you motherfuckers be posting. I want to love that just feels, no you don't. You want this motherfucking shit you saw in these goofy ass movies, because if you wanted this free, unending, unyielding, effortless love, then you would have to be able to provide that, and you don't have that ability because you have all these motherfucking. So you can't want a selfless thing and you yourself are not selfless.
Not only that is exceptionally accurate, but not only that.
What a review.
More times than not, when it comes to the actual proposal, right? We're both two individuals. We've already agreed that we want to go that route. I've established that I want to marry you. You've established that you want to marry me. We think that we are going to enter into this partnership. The only thing we don't have established is the official proposal, which is really an indication between us and for all the other motherfuckers that are around that I am officially declaring that you and I are stepping into this next stage. But we've already talked about it. We both already agreed on it. So why does it really matter who decides to initiate this next stage when we've already agreed upon it? That's one. Two. More times than not, in some of those situations, the actual pressuring of the initiation of said gesture to move into this next stage is the woman saying, when are you gonna? You're putting some sort of pressure on this individual to make it happen by a certain time because you are uncomfortable. So you're dictating still when this proposal is going to happen, but you can't dictate doing the actual action.
Whack.
It makes no sense. I want you, it's either me or this. You're giving ultimatums, and you should be proposing by this time because I've waited long enough. I've been with you long enough. When are you going to make me your wife? This, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. You're dictating this.
And that makes me feel like, and I know niggas have probably like, you know, used this and ruined this statement or whatever, because I'm not absolving the niggas that we just drag motherfuckers along or whatever the fuck that looks like. But what is the time frame on forever? Like, if the idea is we're gonna ride this thing out forever, you're like, well, we've been fucking talking for a year and a half. How do you rationalize that a year and a half is enough to allow that you understand me for the course of my existence? I'll take it as somebody being like grown. I've watched my father through his 30s into now the man will be 60. That's a 30-year progression. And he'll say stupid shit like, you know, like, I'm stuck in my ways. And I'm like, you have no idea how much you are not. I have watched you transition and change. So taking into account, you think a year and a half is enough to know, motherfucker. You don't even know, at least to see like, okay, you'll change significantly in the next 5 to 10 years or so. But I should at least, there's no time for him to go like, let me see how do your changes move positively? Are they changes like, damn, that motherfucker did some shit I didn't even think was whatever, and I'm okay with taking this journey. This motherfucker might take a change, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but they do some shit like, well, that motherfucker did a whole, I don't like that. But you're doing this because you're not examining and being involved to me in the relationship. You're involved in how relationships are supposed to look. You're not even invested in this thing that you're fucking standing in. You sit in the car, like, pay attention to what the fuck, live in this moment. You're looking at a bunch of other shit.
Not even just in this moment, but understand that these moments are going to change. Because if I'm going to spend my forever with you, which you're not, because you're only getting them for a specific point of their life. When you die, you guys are no longer together. That's a whole nother concept. There is no such thing as forever in your marriage until we both are done. That's pretty much what this agreement is. It's a finite amount of time. It's not forever. But you are going to change multiple times throughout this experience that we have together, whether it's for 1 year, whether it's for 100 years, whatever the case is. You are going to change multiple times. Why? Because you changed multiple times to get to this point. So I'm expecting you to change, but I'm expecting you to change how I want you to change. That's part of the issue, because if you're not changing the way I want you to change or as fast as I want you to change, then you're not changing, so to speak. I want to be with you forever, and I'm ignoring the fact that you're going to change, but I'm looking at you now and saying, well, he don't have no 5-year plan. It's only been less than a year. How do you know what his plan is, and how do you know which part of his life you've come into his transition at? Vice versa for women. I can meet you when you said stripper and not know that 10 years from now you're going to be in politics. I don't know that. A whole doctor, whatever the case is. Like, I don't know what life experiences you're going to go through that are going to help influence you to transition into this purpose. Right now, you're acting out of ego. Later on, you may be acting out of purpose. But if I'm choosing to be with you, I'm choosing to be with you through that entire process. But you're like, I don't like this. I don't even want to wait for the transition. I don't like this now, so I want out now. I thought you wanted forever, though.
Nah, man, we out here in my expectations, shawty. Like, we not with each other. You know what I also thought about too? Like, black men. Like, having the amount of times I've had like the debate or argument or with a variety of people going like, hey man, like, marriage should be the icing on the cake, and a motherfucker go like, it's supposed to be the what? And it's like, first of all, bitch, if we are in love, if we are together, then marriage should really just be some shit we doing, because I've been fucking with you this whole time. If marriage is what makes the relationship what it is, then it was bullshit to start with, nigga, and we should just,
all the shit we did before was pointless, right? Yeah, because this one thing, right? This one thing is going to dictate what this was and what it was supposed to be. If that's the case, when I met you the first time, I could have put a ring on it. If I was just going to be, I need a title to tap the ass. Oh, here you go. Here's your title. Basically, it's like, hey, I hired you for this job. I didn't tell you that this job was seasonal. I'm only hiring you for the Christmas season.
Now, but see that then you get into a weird fucking thing where you asshole for going like, look, man, I like you and shit, but I really just want to. You're a fucking piece of shit. I thought I was a good nigga, man. Like,
I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I'm out here. I'm still a hoe. I'm still in my hoe phase. Like,
but we don't realize how the equivalent to that is. I'm looking for a relationship right now, and if you're not entering this with the intention on being in a relationship, then I don't want to talk to you. It's the same shit. Like, you're jumping the gun and ignoring all the stages that come before that because you're leading with your ego. Now, if I tell you that me telling you that I just want to smash is the same as you saying that you're looking for a boyfriend and I better be trying to be that, they're on the same plane.
Is looking for a relationship like that phrase?
You're looking for appeasement.
Yeah,
you're looking for validation in a title and an interaction. You're not actually looking for love. You're telling me that initially. You're not saying I'm looking for somebody that I can connect with and I'm going to figure out how I can connect to this individual. I'm looking for a relationship. Oh, you're looking for the title. That's what you want. You're being upfront and honest with me. I appreciate that. You're looking for the title. I'm sorry. I'm all out of titles. All we have is Just a Dope Ass Podcast t-shirts and sweats and hats. We don't really have any Just a Dope Ass Podcast titles. I'm sorry.
We're nice, all out. I feel like that's a nice package. I feel like that's some nice shit, man.
I mean, yeah, you can get the scare package.
Yeah, you dress nice. You look real snazzy. I think that's a good payoff, man. The bitch was like, hey, man, like, I don't got no motherfucking, relationships, but I got these titties and I got these t-shirts. I'm like, you gonna give me titties and a t-shirt? Like, well, thank you, man. Like, that's fucking nice of you,
I appreciate it. I didn't have to go on Shopify for this. This is wonderful.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, titties and t-shirts. Hashtag, yo, welcome, whoever the fuck. Like, yeah, somebody with big titties making t-shirts could use that.
But I think that's kind of like the expectation is like, I'm just bringing titties and you should be willing to give me all the other shit.
That's exactly the expectation. Because Shawty was dead ass like, you should be able to take care of me and the goings and comings of our living arrangement. That's even like the British go, I think Daniel, I think he should be like, he should take care of me. He should treat me like his princess, like my dad. My dad paid for everything for me, and that's what I expect out of a partner. I'm not your daddy. I don't understand. That shit is weird to me. Like, nigga, I don't want nobody to be my mama. I would be offended if a bitch tried to act like she was going to take that space. Them stupid-ass conversations of front seat, back seat. These people hold completely different spaces in my life. Your father and your nigga should hold completely... If those shits are even remotely blurred, I think you should go. I don't even know if I'll ever be enough therapy in the world for you to break through that. Like, he's supposed to... No, he's not. He's not supposed to cover the space of your father. Your father is a person that can teach you, reverence. You can understand what proper love feels like. But these actual specific actions, ain't no fucking way a nigga's supposed to treat you like your dad. That's fucking weird. Go read Oedipus, you sick fuck. And I don't want nobody trying to treat me like my mom. Like, you suck my dick. Don't be rubbing me like that. This is a different type of... Yeah, this is not the same. Like, what's wrong with you? This is weird.
Not only that, but do you understand what you're asking for? Because if you're telling me to treat you like a princess, do you know that a princess is going to be groomed to be a leader one day? This isn't just her getting the lifestyle and enjoying it. No, you have to look at all the different duties that you're going to have to go through as a princess. Because one day, bitch, you got to be queen. So you got to know how to run this properly. You're getting more grilling than the average person because you're going to have more responsibility.
We have a comment. You're out of titles, but don't you live to say you're an MFT?
Who?
I don't know. I guess that'd be either one of us. I'm not an MFT.
I'm not an MFT either.
But I understand the scenario of saying like we work in therapy or in
I don't live for the title. The title is necessary to be able to do my purpose. My skill set has been there long before the master's degree and the licensing. I just need that because contractually and legally, I have to be able to have that behind my name, the letters behind my name that are actually there now. I have to have those to be able to sell therapy and say that I'm a therapist. It would be irrational and unethical for me to call myself a therapist without those letters. So I'm not living for the title. I'm living for you motherfuckers to help y'all get y'all shit together.
I mean, that's the reason why I don't say like I am, because I'm not finished yet. But like, yeah, like, kind of like to piggyback off what you said, I don't think it's like living for the title. It's that people, especially just to make it specific as mental health, niggas won't respect what you're talking about if you don't say that you have all these accolades or whatever. But you can talk a lot of great mental health things with your fucking favorite uncle or this homeless nigga on the street, because niggas have lived life the same way you could have got your favorite fucking medical jargon from Dr. Sebi, as opposed to the weird nigga who works at Kaiser who's trying to get your money. It's like the letters are not something that people are living to. It's just something that niggas, if I don't have to say it, shit, nigga, if I just gonna listen to it, then cool. Like, cause I'm a podcasting and I was TJ long before I was in the mental health field.
The letters help you understand that somebody has at least basic understanding of what you are approaching them for, as opposed to you guys giving lots of validation to, say, a Kevin Samuels who's giving you advice in an area he's not trained in.
Neck tattoo nigga.
That him too. All of these pseudo Instagram therapists and whatever the fuck they want to call themselves, but they don't have the letters after their name to do so. You guys like them because it's entertaining, but they're not trained to actually do that. I have the credentials to say that I'm trained to do that, and that's not the same as marriage, because you don't have to get married. I have to get the credentials in order to do the job. There's a big difference.
Oh, there's a couple things. Okay, well, nowadays it takes 2 incomes. Bars, you're cool. That's the patriarchy speaking. Women belong to their fathers, and through marriage, they transfer ownership to their husband. Double bars, which is BS, and we need to reevaluate it all. Thank you, Goddess Lore. But Goddess Lore is like cheating. Goddess Lore is like...
She knows us, and that's like picking somebody that's already on your team to do their job. Yeah. We appreciate the input, but we already know that you here with us. You can't see this because you're listening live, but I'm doing the like eye-to-eye situation thing. You'll see it on YouTube later.
Very true. Letters is just for business from time to time. Accolades mean nothing if you can't tell a person how you overcame adversity and how success manifests in your life. Look at Kenny nigga dropping his motherfucking I agree. Kevin Samuels is just pimping. There we go. Like, I like it.
He therapy pimping, man.
Yeah.
Basically therapy or consulting pimping. I'm sorry. He's not doing therapy. He's consulting.
But see, for him, I feel like, and it's not to say the nigga don't say wild shit, but I don't diss him as much as others, because the nigga never says like
at all.
That nigga says, I'm in consulting, I have an opinion on this, you motherfuckers be coming up here, and then granted, I think, the negative shit is always gonna go more viral than the pop, but that nigga has sat there and gone, you should go to therapy. Like, ma'am, go to therapy. You go to therapy. You go to therapy. You having a breakdown. I want you to actually message me so I can know that you going. I'm not a fucking therapist. I have an opinion based on my experience and based on my background. And motherfuckers just be because but you motherfuckers don't want to go to actual therapists, because an actual therapist you have to actually go. Damn, you love going to Kevin Samuels so you can tell you a version of the same shit in a hostile way that a therapist would tell you, but you can write it off as he don't know what the fuck he talking about.
Either that, or I just want the microwave version because I don't actually want to do the work of going to therapy. So although you're telling me you're not in this role, my expectation is that you're supposed to be in this role, and I'm going to approach you as such, even if it's completely out of the ordinary, which is the same thing that we do within our relationships. I'm going to approach you with the expectation of you needing or having to, or me wanting you to be in this particular role. And I'm not paying attention to you saying, hey, I ain't necessarily qualified for that right now. Like, I'm cool with this part of it, but let me build up to that. No, I don't want you to build up to that. You need to be that now. Well, what is my motivation for being that right now, madam? Because I am. Okay, that's great. I am too. So what the fuck is we?
I want you to tell me exactly what I want to hear to justify the bullshit that I already want to think. And that's it. Now don't fuck around with it. Nobody come here to ask you for no real assistance and help.
Right.
I'm trying to do no motherfucking work. That shit's hard.
What's the work? That's the whole point of this. I'm supposed to be trying to get this title because the title means that I ain't got to work. No. You become a teammate, that means you have to work harder because we both trying to play. You want the ring, right? We playing for the championship. You don't get to the top without work and effort. It don't come with just, I'm going to ride these coattails.
The teammate system always sounds like some whole other wild shit. Because like, yeah, we're a teammate. We're supposed to be able to support you.
You just saying that because you want somebody else to pitch in so you don't have to be a broke nigga and because you don't want to pay for everything.
Look, man.
That just doesn't make sense.
I'm not going to hold y'all up. Like, you saw what I posted, man. Look, Robo Pussy is on the way, and I feel like I'm gonna be alive to see it. It's gonna be the goddamn Buddha ass, T1000. Yeah, man, and the bitch gonna have like kung fu grip and a bunch of different speeds and heats. And I'm not fucking. I don't give a fuck.
It's gonna have the same thing that a lot of these Instagram models and all these other chicks. It's the same ass technically. Look, the other one just has real skin, and this one doesn't have real skin, but it's the same injection. So
look, they're gonna drop the Rick and Morty bot, but it just doesn't produce like a world-ending fucking super mongoloid monster. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all.
We Duke Nukem status. We just in the future.
What? And then I can like put a portable one in my like as a suitcase like Tony Stark and just have that bitch come out like
goddamn Dragon Ball Z capsule cork. I can just press a button and just poof.
You saw what Krillin was the happiest one. That nigga got him some android pussy and he never looked back. Fucked around and got her pregnant. I don't know how the fuck that makes sense.
Hey, he wished and prayed for it. He got them
They
dragon.
don't, niggas really sleep on Krillin. Like he was bald by choice, came back with a whole hairline like JADA Kiss. Like it was like niggas really don't give Krillin his fucking due. He had a daughter with an android. That makes no sense. Like he's the weakest nigga to niggas who punch holes in planets. Fuck off.
My wife is stronger than me, and she's in love with me, even though she won't admit it because she doesn't know how to express her feelings.
And she's taller. Word to you 5'5", niggas, man. Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope. You could be bald and short and still get you a tall, strong Amazonian woman that's gonna be willing to breed with you, and she's gonna protect you.
Look at what's that nigga in DC who be like escaping shit and his wife's Big Barda? They got the best love story in all of DC, man. She like 7'5". Love that little nigga. Be just escaping shit. She can punch Superman. He can't do that, but they just sex is wild. Go, I don't know, man. Whatever y'all think about is stupid and undo it and listen to us more.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
You can always send us DMs and questions and we'll answer the shit like Kevin Samuels would.
Fucking concept.
We just won't call you a fat linebacker bitch before we do it. Maybe.
I will try my very best. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna give it the fucking college try, grad school try. I don't know if is that a better try?
I mean, you're paying more money for it.
Whatever. It's a better.
She's Saturday.